What is happening, Head-to-Head Nation?
Hi, everybody.
Sitting here with Joe Okada, the Joe Okada. What's up, buddy?
Not too much.
Nice to see you. Thanks for coming in.
You bet.
We are in the winter time here, the off season, as you call it. And what better way to keep up with what's going on with Head-to-Head than bring them back to podcasts? So
that's right.
That's what we're going to do. We're going to get together with a bunch of people throughout the off season here and through the season next year, through the Pwc, the new exciting news for next year. And just talk fishing, mainly walleye fishing, maybe some bass fishing, maybe get a couple bass and walleye guys here to arm wrestle or whatever. We're just going to have fun with it, get some sponsors as they come in on here with us, and just have fun with it. And in true head-to-head fashion, keep everything light, take questions, be transparent. And
I got some questions.
I know Joe does. He's been sitting in my office for the last half hour. We got a lot of questions. So as you're watching here, thanks for joining. For one, thanks for being a head-to-head fan. We see a bunch of people on already. Feel free to jump in that chat, ask any questions you want. Joe and I are just going to kind of do what we do and just kind of rabble on. We'll follow somewhat of a structure, but we want to see where your fans' heads are at with the PWC. People that don't know what the PWC is, it's the Pro Walleye Circuit. Everybody knows we did the Pro Walleye Series. That's long gone. Now it's PWC. I like that better. It's got a better ring to it. So, yeah, if you guys got questions as Joe and I go here, between us two and Andy in the studio here, we'll get them pulled up and try to answer everything to the best of my knowledge. Joe, what's going on, man?
I was particularly today, with the way it is outside, I was either going to throw in a headlamp and cast a jerkbait around or come talk to you. So, but that's what we chose. Actually, last night was the night to go out. It was that misty haze, and with that light south blow, I mean, that can get those fish going really good. But I didn't go. I stayed home.
Dad.
Yeah, I played that a lot more now. It's funny how the fishing time shrinks up a little bit, but you appreciate it more.
Yeah, definitely. I see Doug Oler's on here. What's happening, Doug? I haven't talked to you in a while. Dylan Williams, always head-to-head #1 fan. Greg Cummings, another one.
Hi, guys.
Golke Outdoors. What's going on, boys? Thanks for joining. Start dropping them questions in. We'll see what we can get answered for you.
I'll never forget Doug. He was my marshal on that last day in Chautauqua. Yeah. And we had an exciting moment, and I slapped him in the side, and I didn't know he had just had surgery. Oh. And I just saw him wince in pain.
He let you know right away, I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh, that was good.
So what's going on for the off season? Just normal holidays, obviously.
Yeah, a lot of that. I'll fish as late as I possibly can. I've picked up some new work in this past year, actually working at Bell Ford in Arlington, Wisconsin. So during the week, that's keeping me plenty busy. Really good group of guys over there, and they're all for letting me continue to pursue fishing as well. So it's awesome. Been a really good uptick in.
You're not going to trade that ram in, are you?
I get asked that, weekly there, and I'm still hanging on to it. It doesn't have 300,000 miles yet, so we're going to get there. No, but that's all good. But the off season, it's just a blink of an eye. I mean, you snap your fingers, and we're already scrambling to rig our boats and get ready to go. So
you do it the smart way. You get your boat in the fall, later in the season normally, right?
I have not been smart the last 2 years. The last 2 years, it's been like June or July. Okay. So that. One of our last events here, I was jumping in the boat for the very first time.
That's right. It was wasn't that Big Bay?
No, it was Green Bay on the East Shore. It was the East Shore.
When I was with you. I think I was with you that day. Yep. No, that's right. There was a new boat. That was a fun day.
Well, up until the very end, because I still had my seat in the back pedestal for the cameraman. And then when we put it on shore, it was time to trim up and put the transom saver on. Well, I forgot I had the seat on there, so I trim up and I just hear a crunch. My brand new Yamaha just got this big gouge in the cowling. But I do have a new cowling in now, or a cowling cover. So.
It's always something. It's always something.
Hi, Josh.
Josh Blosser. How you doing, Josh?
There to rub it in right off the bat.
The funny part is we're sitting in the studio here and we got a giant TV screen in front of us, and the screen is frozen on one side, and it's a picture of Josh holding up a walleye from his win on Mille Lacs.
And he says, "How about a rematch? You got it, buddy."
I said to Andy, you had to put that picture up there for Joe, huh?
That was
a fun event.
It was one of the coolest ones I've ever been a part of.
Yeah,
I mean, it was grueling, but it was really cool. I remember that thing from start to finish. So,
Golke Outdoors has a question of how long until we see. Is that going to pop up, Andy? Where is it? Oh, okay, it popped up already. He's asking how long until we see launch locations. I am actively working on that today. I secured 2 of them, well, 3 of them today. We're waiting on 1 more. And La Crosse, Mississippi River, 789 is going to be out of Clinton Street in La Crosse. Was it Veterans Park? Devil's Lake is up in the air a little bit. More than likely going to be Graham's State Park. And then Detroit River is Metro, what I say, what it's called? Metro something park.
I forgot. That was actually going to be one of my questions too. I didn't even know if we were going to have an official takeoff or just a lines in type of a deal.
Yeah, we're going to do a takeoff and got to be back at a certain time, which is going to be a little different than what we normally do for head-to-head, but keep it more of a standard 8-hour time frame and build your run into your day.
Yep.
One of the big reasons for that for me is so we don't have to sit and wait for everybody to get back, right? Because if we let people trailer, Detroit River, you're going to have somebody that trailers to wherever, you know, 100 miles by truck and give themselves 2 hours to fish and then drive 100 miles back.
But it's so easy on your boats.
It is. And then we're sitting there for 4 hours waiting for everybody.
I know.
So it makes you take your run into effect for the day. It builds that into your day. So we will be getting them posted here soon. Damon, just heads up, we've got Andrew Katowski, half of the champs. There's the other half of the champs is in there.
Everybody that's crushed me at some point in time is tuning in.
All the
to say hello.
heartbreakers.
Yeah, all the heartbreakers. Hey, boys.
Just going through questions here. Joe's the man. Thad Shelton, he's from Detroit River.
That was a fun event.
I've been talking to him a bunch about the Detroit River coming up too. He's been a great help, so thank you. I definitely appreciate that.
Yeah, no, that's going to be awesome. Actually, that was a good Kickstarter event.
It was.
And I don't play out there very much, and so when we finally got to go out there and you're forced to dive in there, that was a lot of fun.
It was really cool. That was the first time I was over there to check the place out prior to the tournament. Now I've always heard about Detroit River, it's the current's so fast, it's this, it's that, and man, it's a cool place.
It is.
It's a cool place. I'm really shocked that I have not had my boat over there smallmouth fish since then.
I just got to go find where Nick's shirt was pinned up. That might be a good fish per hour spot.
I might be able to do some research on fixed TV and watch.
I might be able to.
Couple other questions you got here is why is Mille Lacs and Devil such a quick turnaround? Joe and I were going over the schedule today when he was here and trying to work around the NWT schedule. You know, the guys practice for NWT plus our cutoff. You know, we have a 14-day cutoff, 13 days for 2 of them, where they can't be on the body of water. It has to be that because of scheduling, because of the way NWT falls. NWT, we basically got to plan for 2 weeks, right? The week prior and then the week of.
Yeah, those are big time
for practice. So we don't want anglers to have to be done fishing with us on a Friday to drive overnight, or vice versa, get done fishing with them, drive overnight to fish our event, you know, 500, 600, 700 miles away. It's just no fun.
But that is
to do that.
One of the reasons, you know, why I'm excited to fish the head-to-head next year is because of that 3-day limited practice. You know, I have enough obligations at home now, but I still want to fish, you know, big events. And when you only have 3, you know, when you have a 5-day basic commitment that overlaps with a weekend, you know, no matter how many obligations you have at home, you could still make that time if you needed to. So that's one of the coolest parts. With the other tournaments, it turns into a 10-day affair, you know, and that's just a lot of time to be absent from so many things.
The hardest thing at running tournaments is scheduling.
Yeah.
I mean, by far the hardest thing. It doesn't matter what species you're fishing or playing a tournament for, is scheduling is tough because you want to play fair with everybody. You don't want to step on anybody. Unfortunately, the last thing I want to do is step on another tournament. It's happening this year. We got one conflict with the AIM championship, and I hate it. I've stared at the schedule for hours and hours and hours trying to make it work, and there's no other way around it. And unfortunately, when I put the schedule together, that info wasn't out there yet. So I did not know when it was. So that's just in my defense. I know nobody cares, but that's my defense. What boundaries will accompany the launch, Damon? What boundaries will accompany the launch? Boundaries we're gonna get out here shortly. Joe and I got Joe's opinion on a couple of them this afternoon, and Detroit River is going to have a boundary to the north and a boundary to the south. It's not going to be river only. Canada will be in play.
Nice.
I've reached out to the powers that will over there in that other country way to the north, and they're okay with us playing as long as everybody plays within their rules, and being a catchway release, there's no issues there. So boundaries will come out soon.
That'll be
It's not going to be anything that's crazy. The championship's going to have some boundaries, but that's about it. Will the Wednesday series still be a thing? What Damon's talking about is the league. Unfortunately, no. We're going to be doing away with the Bass League completely, the Walleye League completely, like you knew from this year, and we've done the last 2 years. And we're going to focus solely on the PWC. That's the play. I mean, that's what the walleye industry is begging for and asking for and needs. So that's what we're going to do.
Nice. I did enjoy fishing that this year, though. It was close to home. It forced me to look at waters that I would typically leave alone at certain times of the year. But it was a lot of fun to get forced to look at like the Winnebago system, and I did get more comfortable with it. That was good.
Yeah, I did text Thad Shelton and told him the tournament, I just put it up on the screen for Detroit River, is out of Metro Park. So it's on the southern end of Detroit River. Cherry Island, I believe, is the island it's on. So super excited about that. I know when we were there last time for the PWS, we were kind of based out of the center of the city, like mid-river.
Yeah, logistically, it was challenging sometimes because that was at the peak of when everybody wanted to be on the river, and now you're pushing it towards the end of the month.
Yep.
And the fish and the people should be dispersed a little bit. So.
Yeah, I know. I remember Mike Hansen calling me after we left one of the parking lots one morning. He's like, "This is BS. I'm sitting in stop traffic. How am I supposed to get?" I'm like, should have left earlier, Mike. I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, that was one of the challenges of that event, being able to trailer from our takeoff location. You guys could launch wherever. And some guys left their boats in the water, some guys didn't, but you still had to get there.
Yeah.
You know, I don't remember who I was with one day, but we went over a bridge, had to pay a toll or something to go over a bridge to get onto an island. And then his boat was inside that, in a lagoon in an island somewhere, and it was weird. It was different. That's a cool place. I'm glad we're going back there. They've been begging for head-to-head to come back, so I'm excited to get back there.
I won't say no to Lake Erie.
Yeah, Lake Erie's, it's definitely going to be in play. I don't know how much of it yet.
Okay.
With Dylan Williams, will we be able to get H2H gear and where it will be available? We will have it available on our website from time to time. I do plan on getting some new stuff updated and on there. Obviously, with the Real Shot, our main title sponsor in the past, with them being gone, we're not going to have that outlet. But who knows? Maybe we'll get another tackle provider to step up and jump on board, and then it'll be available there.
Nice.
So, but yeah, just keep an eye on our website, headtoheadfishing.com or H2Hfishing.com. Let's talk a little bit about this last year with you, Joe.
Well, it was a last-minute decision to jump in, but I'm glad you twisted my arm to do it, because life got really busy this year, and it was a great outlet to still stay present with fishing, and like I said, force myself to go look at waters that were close to home, manageable distance from home,
yep,
and still be able to peek around. And the way it was isolated into different sections, I just went up there by myself to look around. I didn't feel overwhelmed because there wasn't an overabundant acreage of things to look at. So I was able to, in a day or two of looking around, I had a pulse,
right,
and then you just went flying. So that worked out a lot. That was a lot of fun. And a lot of people that were watching us in 2021 had reached out over the course of the year because they got to look or see some good coverage and some good matchups. And that led up to that championship in Escanaba, and that was a memorable few days.
Yes,
that was a lot of fun. The way the weather and the weights and everything was matching up, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, the Katowski brothers, man, they're tough to beat when it comes to that championship.
They are
head-to-head, that's for sure.
You can't give them any breathing room because they just run.
No.
Yeah, no, but I felt really good going into it, but I knew that I'd have my hands full with teams like them or McCoy and Steve to teams that were very efficient and can rack up numbers quickly. That was pretty tough to do. So it was fun to try to stay up there with them the whole time.
Yeah. Doug Oler has a question about live. You mentioned live. Will live stream be a part of it? The easy answer is yes, but not to what you're used to. Like I had said, if anybody watched the podcast with Brian Bayshore that I was on a few weeks ago, our focus was so hard on the live during the PWS that I think it hurt us more than it helped us. And one angler had said that to me shortly after the PWS went away, and I'm thinking, you're nuts. Like that's stolen. Because we were so focused on everything that live had to be the thing, right? Like, because nobody else was doing it. Well, yes, we're having live. The championship is going to be live streamed. The regular season events will not be as of today. And it's 100% cost to keep everything cost efficient and keep the anglers, fishing, basically given the platform. We decided to forego the live. If we do get a sponsor or some people to step up and want to get involved in that, we would definitely do it at some level. Full production, commentators, the whole works again. I mean, it's just a really, really expensive endeavor. So
I understand that. I think the live component that you had, I know it's a cost thing, but I do know that a lot of people in my circle and a lot of the people watching today really enjoyed that part because it's something that nobody else offered. When they watch their Sunday night football game, they don't necessarily want to wait either for a recap or just to look on the internet to see how the game went. They want to go, be there with it. And so if you're not going to, if the qualifiers aren't going to be live streamed, unless maybe you do get enough support and it happens, I think that's a crucial component that nobody else can offer. But I did get some live streaming things set up for this year. So I think even if you guys aren't streaming, I'm going to do my best to stream my days on the water. So at least we have.
It's a cool option for guys to be able to do.
Yeah, I think so too.
Some other guys have been doing it in the bass world for the last couple of years, and it's compared to what it used to be, it's very easy to do now, and somewhat cost effective. You still have some cost behind it, but you don't have a camera operator, you don't have travel, you don't have all them other things on top of it, right? So, you throw a Starlink in your boat and a camera of some sort that accepts live, and you can do your whole production yourself.
Yeah, I think
it's a great option.
I think I'm going to do that, and it looks like
it's a good offer for your sponsors too.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And we have the platform. We have fixed TV. We can definitely take anybody that does it. We can put it all on fixed TV. If we get a group of, let's say, 10, 15 anglers that are all doing it, we'll create a page where you can literally go in and select which one you want to watch and jump around and do it that way.
That would be awesome.
That's pretty easy for us to do on our end and make it easier for you guys. You're not, if you go to YouTube, yeah, you can monetize from it, and there's other ways to do it, but we can put it on fixed TV and do that for you too.
And you're good with streaming, both days, not just day two, or?
Yeah, guys the anglers can live stream. The way it's written in the rules is anglers can live stream as long as there's not a live camera in your boat. So if for some reason we get to an event and you have a camera, say Joe's sponsor came up and said, hey, we want to put a camera in and we want it to be live on fixed TV all day and we want a camera operator, we're going to pay for it, then that would overtake yours.
Okay.
Right, that's the way it's written in the rules. And then for the championship, the days that are live streamed, that would take priority.
Okay.
That makes sense?
Yeah, it does. If See, Thad would watch.
Yeah, everybody will watch.
No, I think that would be fine. Is there anything in the, you have a no info rule 14 days out, so how would that go for competitors watching streamed days after day one or day? I don't really care, I do it anyways.
You won't be able to watch anything that's live. Well, it's going to be tough because it's public, right? You're making that public, so anything that is public, the anglers will be able to watch. So if we would produce a live stream, you wouldn't be allowed to watch that. I do believe I can word that in the rules to make that not legal, where you can't watch anything that was live until the event's over.
Okay.
Or you're out of the event.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't really care either way. But.
Yep, Damon. Yeah, I did see your question, Damon, about registration. Andy's gonna pull it up here for us. I can't see it though. How far up was it? When will registration open? You can see it on the screen there. Yes, when it opens, I want to get the registration open here early December. That's my goal, is to have it open December 1st, like that first Monday in December. Once it opens, we will update it monthly on boat numbers. Probably more than monthly, to be honest, on the website. But we will keep it up with who's the full list of the roster who's fishing. We're not trying to make it a surprise when you guys get there. We want as many anglers that want to fish, and when you see Joe's name on there, you want to come beat him and have a chance. You'll know he's there, right? I've always done that with another series that I run, and the anglers absolutely love it. It gets guys to commit as well, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, cool, they got 55 boats. Cool.
What's your cutoff?
We don't have one.
Okay.
No, we don't have one.
No, I mean not on boat numbers, but to sign up.
The sign up, it's going to be that Sunday prior to the first event.
Okay.
So we'll leave it open all the way until that Sunday prior to the first event, or that event.
Yep.
So basically a week prior. And then boat numbers, I'll just answer this because it popped in my head because of registration. Boat numbers is going to be randomized. It's not going to be how you register. It's going to be randomized for day one, and then day two will be flopped, reverse order for takeoff at day two.
Gotcha.
So anglers will get their boat numbers at the meeting the night prior to day one, and then obviously day two would just be reverse order for takeoff. So. Price list for sponsorships, reach out to me, K Carpenter at Fix Productions. You can get my info off our website or send me a message on Facebook, and I can definitely get you something. We don't have anything like set in stone or like we did in the past. We're kind of taking everything as it comes. I did have a really exciting conversation this last weekend with somebody. I don't want to get into too many details on it yet, but it could be pretty awesome. It sounds like it's going to be pretty major, something that we did not have in the PWS. So everybody knows how sponsorship world works. So if you have interest and you want to talk, we're open to talking. So, and that's another thing, guys, and Joel, that I feel like I did wrong and we did wrong last time for the PWS is we put so much focus on having to have the sponsorship dollars, that it made it tough from the beginning, right? Like we had a giant nut to crack to make up, right? Because we've never, head-to-head's never taken a penny out of any entry fees to pay for anything. We've never done that. The first time is going to be this first event with the PWC. And just like every other tournament in the world, we're going to take 20%, and then I'm going to do my damnedest to fill that 20% backfilled to get back to, and if not over 100% payout for the anglers. I know every angler always wants to ask, and I always pick on Bob for that because Bob would always say it. When are we going to start fishing for more than our own money?
That's what every tournament angler asks.
If we get the support, great, right? So that's kind of where we're at with sponsors. I know everybody wants us to be over 100%. We want to give a boat to everybody that fishes. We'd love that. So if you do have a question or you have a potential, reach out to me and we'll work something out.
Nice. Nice.
What else we got out there, Andy? Was that Thad? Did you put it up there? We've already cut that one down to 13 days, I believe. That's a tough one because we want to have that cutoff period. That's a big thing for you guys, for the anglers is, pro level, right? Like a true pro level has a cutoff period, has an official practice time. I don't think you should be able to just go practice for weeks on end on a body of water. So quick answer is no. Like that, we're gonna stick to that time. It sucks that a place like the Detroit River is so popular, right? That's why we're going there, because people love it. But we also know we're going to lose some anglers because of other events or guides or whoever.
In a perfect world, I wouldn't be opposed as a participant if you said the day I announced the schedule, info and on the water time is now done. I wouldn't be opposed one bit.
There are some leagues that do that.
Yeah, and that's just for guys that if we're all stuck to that exact same window of time to develop a pattern and to look at about the same amount of water and then just go fly by the seat of your pants, that would be the ultimate. But I know that makes some people uncomfortable. And then other people that do have the time to go early in advance, that's good for them too, if they're willing to put in the extra work. But that, just so you know, you wouldn't get a gripe from me if you ever did that.
Right. We would definitely get gripes from others.
Yeah.
Ray Miller, great. Thanks for bringing that up. It's a great question. I would love to tell you yes. I'd love to tell you, make an exception, but I believe that one we're at a 13-day cutoff now, just because NWT ends on a Friday or Thursday or Friday, whatever it is, and then it backs us up a little bit already. So Damon Golke asked, is there an Angler of the Year award? As of right now, there is nothing planned. We will have something. I don't know what yet. That is something we are talking to another sponsor about, is Angler of the Year. That's definitely should be recognized as something and get something somewhere. Maybe it's entry fees for the following year. Maybe it's a brand new Cadillac. I don't know yet. So
either one.
Maybe the car sponsor your job of throwing a brand new Ford pickup for us. Who knows?
I don't know.
But JJ says he might have a solid sponsor lead. Is that a wink, wink, JJ? JJ DiBardini. He's, I believe, with Finval Boats. So we shall see.
Nice. Hi, Sean.
What's up, Sean? What else do we have on here, Joe? Bunch of people. Sean brings up a good question here. Thinking out loud, hey, if a guy qualifies with a first place finish for the championship, you must fish all tournaments to be able to fish. That is the way it is right now. Now, if a guy paid for the entry fees and not able to fish due to commitments, would that be allowed? I'm torn on that right now. In the past, and in another series that I run, you have to launch your boat at each event. So you could pay your entry fee and then launch your boat day one of the event and then leave. Go through takeoff, put your boat on trailer, go home. That was always to just kind of eliminate the jackpotters of paying their way into a championship. But I get it, if a guy wins Detroit River, a local from Detroit, and that's the only one he was planning on fishing, yes, there's a benefit to you guys that are fishing the full season to have him paid for every one. But
yeah, I wouldn't, if somebody wanted to just put their money in and not show up, that's just more money in the pot.
Right. That person will have a spot in the championship though, too.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So the guys, if you have, say we end up with 40 guys that fish the whole season, and somebody's 16th, right, or 17th, 18th in points, the guy that won one is going to get into that championship over a guy that fished the whole season. So that's where it doesn't just come down to money to me, where that guy's given his commitment for the whole season. Right. Where, yeah, he did participate, he did win one, which is awesome. I do believe the winners should get into a championship, that's why we have it this way, because I really like that. It's just participation has got to mean something too, right?
Sure.
So that's a tough one.
That is a tough one.
Yeah, it's a very tough one, and great question, Sean. I really don't have a great answer for you right now, but that's where my head's at is, and that's why we have it the way we do right now, is a guy that participates in a full season should have better weight. You know what I mean? Should have a better, obviously he's got a better chance to make championship, but if he has one bad tournament and he drops and he misses by one because that guy that won one got in, it sucks if he just paid for the other three. It's tough. It's definitely a tough one.
Yeah.
Dylan, you want to send Andy a message? He's asking about his fixed TV login. Again, we're sitting here with Joe. We're just BSing. That's what this is. And that's kind of what this is going to be this year, guys, for the podcast. Is we're going to bring in guests and we're just going to talk fishing and answer questions. And there've been a lot of great questions so far today. You got any, Joe, that haven't been brought up yet? I know you do.
That I have of you?
Yeah.
Actually, well, that was one of the ones I was going to ask is about takeoff, because I mean I'm fine taking off in traditional fashion, but man, did I like showing up into the area and just settling down,
acclimated,
you know, taking a look around, take a breath, and visualize your day, and then it's like lines in and you just start fishing. You know. That was really enjoyable, but from the logistics side, I can see how that's a nightmare for you guys.
Bill, and for me, it's the biggest thing is the run, right? Like we're going to some bodies of water where you can make a long run.
Right.
Detroit River guys can run on Lake Erie forever if we let them, and they will. For me, it's somewhat of a safety thing, being able to control what I can control. So that's kind of where we are at with it. Damon asked, will tiebreakers be in place? There definitely is tiebreakers. Them are in, you can check them out in our rules too. Everything is listed in there, Damon, on our website.
Is everybody going to be aware of how the entire field is doing over the course of a day?
No. Everything is going to be shut off as far as who's doing what. You won't be able to see what your competition is doing, and the only reason I want to do that is because I don't want tailpiping.
I know.
I don't want to deal with a guy day one has a banner day, and you know it could just be middle of the day. Well, hey, Joe's catching him. I just drove by him. He's got 100 pounds.
That does suck from that aspect. I mean, but I do love to feel the pulse of the field, and you can see bite windows, and you know if you're missing something. But yeah, that does suck. That would be the reason to not allow access to.
Because it will happen. It will happen. When talking with the people that run the app, and they said that's why we put this in, to have it blocked off was 100% because of tailpiping. You just hate for it to happen. Somebody to lose a tournament when they're on a winning pattern because somebody that didn't have anything going decides to tailpipe somebody off of the app. You know, I would just hate for somebody to lose that way.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I'm not asking you to change the rules, but a consideration for the future, maybe if there were windows or a period, or
Sure.
if it was structured into a period where, at those period points, you're allowed to see the overall, see how everybody's doing, and then it's shut off. But I don't know if that would detract from
first 5 minutes of every hour or something. It's live where you could look if you want to. I don't hate that.
I love the pressure. If I.
Well, if it was up to Brian, we'd be announcing every time somebody caught a fish. So he loves that. And
I do.
That builds in some anticipation for sure.
Ted. Tailpiping only happens in bass.
I didn't even know what tailpiping was until I got my head in this walleye world.
No, all fishermen I swear it's like a seagull mentality sometimes. I've seen it a few times.
Tim Juba's got a question. Any ideas on changing Mille Lacs? We can't. The schedule is so tight. The only way we could is if we would pull Mille Lacs out and put in a different lake at a different. It would be in July. That's the only time there's anything to do anything is in July, and I don't know. It's tough. I beat my head against the wall looking at that schedule for hours and hours and hours trying to wrap my head around it. I wish there was more weeks and more time. if somebody sees a gap that I'm missing, shoot me a text, shoot me a message, and I will definitely look at it. Yeah, Golke's got a question, volunteer marshals. Yes, definitely. During the PWS, we had marshals in the boats with everybody. It is a major, major undertaking. We had guys, it was awesome actually. We only needed 32. So if we get a field of 75 or 80, what are we gonna do if we don't get 75 and we have 75 boats? You know, who doesn't get a marshal? How's that decided? And, you know, Bassmaster does it now. They go through it where if they don't have one, they don't have enough, they just don't have a marshal. And I don't know that there's much controversy around it with the Bassmaster Elite Series, but fair is fair. If you are gonna have marshals, you gotta have one for everybody.
I guess that would lead into a question that might pop up. How do you see the fish handling and measuring and updating taking place?
There's a lot of questions about guys doing it by themselves, taking pictures of a 28, 29, 30, whatever inch walleye. I've been doing it all summer. I have one of the bump boards. I actually had a walleye that was just over 30 inches a couple weeks ago, and I had no problem taking a picture of it by myself.
What'd you catch it on?
An Alabama rig. Alabama rig. Every one I've caught in the last, I don't know, 4 months has been on Alabama rig. But that bump board, I don't have the longest arms in the world, but once it's going to be a 32-inch catch bump board that's concaved. I should have brought one with, but we don't have any here. And comfortably, my elbow wasn't fully extended to get the picture, to get the whole bump board into the picture. So it's going to take some guys some getting used to. Guys are used to doing it a certain way, right? AIM, I love how AIM does one hand on the fish. We're going to do the same. Yep. The way they brought that in, it's awesome. It eliminates stretching, eliminates trying to, gain that 1/4 inch by breaking a jaw or whatever.
I think it naturally relaxes that fish more so than when you have two on it.
Trying to force it. Yeah. Sure. Yep. So it's going to take some getting used to for guys, but it's 100% doable. The app that we're going to use is, I know we announced with Fish Donkey, and we're not 1,000% on that yet. We did get contacted by another app that we are talking with and seeing if it makes more sense for us and the anglers to use it. I know everybody's used to Fish Donkey, but we're going to see this other app seems to have more options, some better behind the scenes stuff than Fish Donkey does, but time will tell on that. I know that question popped up there somewhere too, but the bump boards, taking a picture by yourself is going to take some time, but you guys will 100% get used to it, and I don't see it being an issue. Will there be
a live leaderboard streaming the entire day for people to see?
Fans will be able to see it. We will have a leaderboard up on our website, being able to watch it.
Nice.
Yeah, and one thing we talked about is if there's 5 or 6 guys that have live in their own boat, we might set up on location and just watch them. Like me and Travis and whoever's there, we may set up a camera on us and just watch their live streams and just somewhat commentate about it throughout the day, and talk about the leaderboard a couple times throughout the day and go live. And there might not be live in boats at every event, but we're going to do something at each event.
That might be a nice funnel to people. If you envision the live leaderboard up there and the people that have live streaming active, if you made their name a hyperlink so that people would see, which boat on that leaderboard would I want to jump in and watch at that time. That would be a cool component. I don't know if that's doable or not, but I think that'd be pretty cool.
Bob Prawl said, what about weights with no names? That's another option
That's not bad.
That's another option that the other app has. It will show the places, but not who it is. I don't hate that idea either. That's not the first time I've heard that, and I like that.
I just love that pulse and that pressure of like, okay, can I eat a sandwich?
Yeah, I'm getting my tail kicked in, or I'm sitting pretty good.
Yes. Yes.
The nice thing about the opens or the qualifiers or however we want to call them is, our payout is pretty aggressive. 125 boats, we're paying $100 grand. You're probably going to want to stay focused throughout that whole day anyway, right? Because the payout goes pretty deep too. So the thought of winning $100 grand is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Camera boats is definitely an option. We do want to, like I said, have some stuff at every event, not necessarily live, but some media around every event. And there will be something, be it us just talking live, talking about the leaderboard, midday updates, stuff like that. Each event, I'm sure I could find somebody to get out in a boat with and run around and talk to people on the water and get some live or get some footage and stuff. There's definitely going to be that type of stuff.
Nice. Nice.
JJ said he uses the catch boards now. They're really nice boards.
What's the catch board? Is that cradle?
Yeah, they're yellow. They're polycarbonate plastic, basically. They're really easy to read. The numbers show up real bright on a picture. They're really nice boards. I'll get some pictures posted up on our Facebook page of some fish. And maybe if guys have the catch boards and you guys have pictures, feel free to put them out there and tag us in them too. We're going to purchase, however many we need to, if it's 100 or 200 or whatever. One thing I put in the rules, just because it never ceases to amaze me how little people care about things, meaning anglers. We've had for this past year, we went to Bubba scales. The expensive $230 Bubba scales. Well, we had 3 of them get broke this year.
And not me.
Joe didn't break one. I'm not going to name any names, but it wasn't Joe. These boards are light. They're plastic, so that if you don't take care of them, one could blow out, they could break, and accidents are going to happen. But I have written in the rules, and somebody actually called me on and be like, "Are you really going to do this?" And I'm like, "Yeah." So Joe loses his board at takeoff because he left it on the back deck. He gets to his first spot. I don't have a board. He calls me, he can come give me a $50 bill, I'll give him another board.
I might buy one to start the year, and then I have 2 in the boat.
So you could practice with it too.
Well, and then if one does fly out, I don't have to run 30 miles back to you to.
And if guys catch the exact same board, I'll inspect them and bump them up against ours, and if they're the same, you can use your own.
Okay.
I'm okay with that as long as it's the same board. And I'm sure Catch will love it. Because we're going to buy a bunch, and then hopefully everybody else does too. But the boards are really nice. They're durable. I've had this one in my boat for probably 4 years, and I think the fence might be cracked on it somewhere. But like I said, it's been in there for 4 years. I've been beating it up for a while. So
Nice. 2 questions.
2 questions. Star. There's one from Golke Outdoors. Can you get a list of the recommended Starlink and camera gear for a guy? Yeah, I definitely can. We actually are talking about maybe putting together a package for guys to either purchase from us, or we can build the package. There's all kinds of ideas with this, right? Where as Fixed Productions, we could offer this package. You rent it, you buy it, whatever. You set it up, you run it at the end of the year, you return it, or you just buy it outright. And then we would run it to fixed TV for you, or however you want it to.
Nice.
So yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, the anglers would definitely be responsible for setting it up, installing it, managing it. If it would crash, it's going to be on them to take care of it. It's not going to be a, "Hey Kyle, this isn't working" type thing. It's going to be what it is from our standpoint, right? And then Nick Katowski, concluding the end of each day, will there be a live stream weigh-in, conversation with all anglers, giving an opportunity for all anglers to represent themselves and sponsors? I do want to do some sort of weigh-in live, not to pick on AIM at all, because we're basically copying what they built. They've never been able to make that cool. Right? It's so hard to make something at the end of a day without fish cool. Right? For people to stick around and be like, "Oh, this is awesome, people holding up fish in a crowd and whatever." I want to do something. What way that happens, I'm not real sure. I'm testing something in the bass world with the Wisco Bass Adrians, our memorial tournament this year. We're running that tournament the exact same way, out of Little Sturgeon. And we're not allowing our anglers to see any results at all. We're not using an app. We're 100% using your cell phone. So same way I ran our bass club tournaments, you build an album in your phone. So rather than bringing me a bag full of fish at the end of the day, you're going to bring me an album in your phone that says, Adrian's day 1, your best 5 fish, length to weight, pictures of the length, and you're going to hand it to our inspectors. One guy is going to do one, look at one thing, where all 3 guys are going to confirm that they're not the same fish, that they're legal, everything is clear, and then I'm going to go through it all, and then we're going to send them up on stage.
In terms of, so when we are processing fish, are we getting is there a way to get approval from
Yes,
you guys before we let that fish go and realize we just threw away a fish? It wasn't, or
no, there's not. There's a way for you to make sure that picture was good before you let the fish go. Like the picture's taken, it will go automatically into an album in your phone. So you take that picture of the fish on the board, you confirm,
okay,
this picture is good, and then you do your hero and then a release video. So yes, you're not going to get it confirmed that we saw it background, because you could have everybody catching fish at the same time, and there's going to be a lag on us getting them approved. But you will be able to know, holy man, that picture didn't work, I got to take another one.
Right, that's good.
Before you send it in to be accepted.
It'll take some getting used to, but
it will, for sure.
I don't think it'll be that hard, especially after playing this year on AIM and measuring fish with one hand. It was surprisingly easy.
So Nick, to answer your question, yes, there's going to be some sort of weigh-in, post-game type thing. To what extent, I don't know yet. As of right now, I have planned to have some 10 by 20 tent set up, a place for us to, because we're going to be verifying some fish that come in late if guys don't have cell service or whatever. So there's going to be some time from, say, 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock. You know, everything has to be sent by X time, you know, every fish after whatever time, and then we'll have them all verified by X time. And it's another nice thing that one of the apps does is they will help us verify from location. They don't have to be there with us.
Okay.
So it doesn't just fall on, you know, our staff to have them all verified. So.
Ooh, I don't think either. Maybe I didn't read the rules close enough. How many rods per person are we doing?
That's a good question, Joe. So right now in the rules, I have it as 2 or state law.
2 or state law. Okay.
So 2 rods or state law. I'm actually debating on making that 3 or state law, because like Wisconsin,
right.
I'm not sure what the quotas are. Michigan is 3. Minnesota's 1, so when we go to Mille Lacs, guys are only going to have 1 anyway. But I don't want to just eliminate the trollers.
You won't. In a cumulative weight event, trolling one,
2 of them.
Yeah, 1 or 2 of them last time,
and almost 3.
Yeah, yeah. I think that'll be a legit. Yeah, it won't alienate that presentation at all.
Hey, Greg Carts.
I might not do it much, but it'll definitely get beat by it sometimes.
Matt Snell just brought up with e-tournament and a big screen, you could do it. That's the other company that has reached out to us, Matt, was the e-tournament. So Matt Snell's in the house. Nice to see Matt.
That's weird. I haven't heard of that one.
Yeah, they're. I think they're out of. And I talked to Josh on the phone a couple times. I can't remember what state they're out of, but they're all fishermen. They all tournament fish. They've been in the scene for a while. So it's what they're doing is good. And not saying Fish Donkey's not. Like Brian and I had a conversation today. I'm like, can you please call these guys and kind of help me, because I don't know which way to go here. Because Fish Donkey, everybody knows. You know, everybody's used to it. And eFish, it offers more. It offers more, and it seems to be a little easier. So I know we have it out there right now as Fish Donkey, but that may change. We like change.
Yeah, you're not willing to go with, or you're willing to go with the flow. You just make it work.
Right.
Yep.
Andy, did I miss any questions anywhere? Ted Miller's out here. I'm sure it's just some stuff he's got to say. So what do you think of the format and the schedule and everything for next year, Joe?
The schedule looks awesome. The format is
Colorado. They're out of. That's right. They're out of Colorado.
Oh, okay.
E-fishing is. Yep.
But yeah, the I love the singles format, and that's, you know, I love my decision making, or my whatever self-doubt might creep in if there's other people in the boat. I love being the only one in the boat, and then just going with a flow for the day and seeing what happens. I make better decisions that way. So it was fun to go through those paces again this year, because I was missing that after 21 a lot. And so this was a great way to get back into it, and now I am looking forward next year to continue that. I envision a lot more tournaments looking at going that direction as time moves on, little by little. But for now, this is going to be a lot of fun. Yeah.
There's one thing that, speaking of the format, excuse me. In the rules, I had a conversation with a couple different anglers that have called, and I'm surprised by the number of people that called and had said, this is great, X, Y, or Z. How about this? How about that? And it's been awesome, actually. Like one gentleman, I bet you I've talked to him 7 or 8 times, and I didn't know who he was prior, and now I love that people are willing to call and say, hey, let's try it. What about this? Did you think of this? Did you think of that? And one thing the guy brought up, which I did think about, and in the bass world, it's huge controversy, and I hate it, to be honest, because innovation is something that has to stay. Once we start going backwards, the whole industry is going to go backwards, and that's forward-facing sonar. We're going to limit to 2 transducers.
Okay.
You can have them any way you want. You can put one in the front, one in the back, both on the trolling motor. Don't care if one's on a pole, one's on a trolling motor, however you want, but we're only going to be able to have 2. And that was just, to me, it's a great compromise of, we want technology, we want guys to be able to use this, but you don't need to have 4 or 6 of them on your boat either. So, and that goes back again to the trolling thing. We don't want to eliminate trollers, because scopers are so good now. There's some guys, yeah, you could go out and nickel and dime and catch 1 and 2 pounders all day at trolling, and not compete with somebody that's catching 3 an hour. But it's still there to do either way. You just can't have more than 2 transducers.
If you can get by with 2.
Absolutely.
You can.
I've only had one on my boat since it came out, and I don't really care to have another one. None of them work in weeds, so.
Wait, what?
Not the way I fish.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask you one more thing on the media. Setting up a live stream and making sure everything's functioning all the time, and there's no technical difficulties while you're trying to compete in a tournament. In an effort to not dissuade people from offering that so that you guys can also leverage that, would you consider allowing a media person in the boat if they were designated as such?
Yes.
They can't communicate in terms of fishing. You can ask if they want to water. They can't do anything for you. What are your thoughts on that?
Yes, you can. We do promote that. We do want that. If you have somebody that wants to come with you and they're purposed, it can't just be somebody that's Joe Blow off the street. It's going to have to be proven that this is your content creator, or this is your blog person, or whatever, right? Sure. Yeah, you could have that person with you. They can't help in any way. They can't do anything. They have to wear a life jacket, stuff like that. But yeah, if it's media based, absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
It's a good question.
Because running cameras and trying to compete against the guys that are going to be fishing in this thing, it is overwhelming at sometimes. Sometimes, especially if there's a malfunction and the clock is ticking. But that will go far. So that's cool.
Ted Miller, are they going to have to weigh dinks? No. Dinks are all gone, Ted. Sorry. I know Ted and Cody loved their dink trackers.
Got to get the bigs.
Yep. My battery's going dead, Andy, on my computer. She's crashing.
That's okay. I've been watching people's comments on over here.
Yep, so schedule. We talked a little bit about it. We're starting in Detroit River, April 27th and 28th. That event is locked down, done. The venue's set. Everything's ready for that event. Andy's going to pop a graphic up here for us for the schedule. The second event of the year is going to be Mille Lacs. I would love to change that for guys. Joe and I talked about it. I hope AIM isn't pissed. I hope they don't think this is intentional. I mean, when I made this schedule, it wasn't available, so the data wasn't out there. And the schedule trying to work around NWT, because that's, where a majority of the anglers that are going to, pay this entry fee are going to come from, is that area. It's tough. Devil's Lake, pretty much locked in. Waiting to hear back from the DNR over there in North Dakota, but that I'm excited to go to. I've never been out there. I've never been to Devils.
It's
and
crazy.
I hear great things about it. I'm excited to go there.
Super cool place.
Wrapping up this regular season in Mississippi River and La Crosse. I know NWT was just there this last year. Even if they weren't, that's been on my radar since we were there with head-to-head in 2020, or 2021. So I love the Mississippi River. I love being out there. It's going to definitely be a place where I think we draw a lot of boats and a lot of locals.
A lot of willow cats.
Willow cats will get drowned for sure. Two rods we talked about, the app we talked about, the format we talked about. We pretty much covered everything that we wanted to go through, Joe. What else you got for questions for me? Hit me with something here.
Then bringing it back to the championship at the end of the year, then you're bringing back what we're used to, the head-to-head bracketed, streamed
16 angler bracket
competition.
Traditional head-to-head bracket style event, and that will be the 4 winners from each event if they fished all 4.
Okay.
And then the top 16 in AOI will fill that in. So everything will be based off AOI points as far as seeding. So if we have, say there's an angler that wins an event, but he finishes 25th in AOI, he would be, if he's the lowest number in AOI, he'd be 16th.
Okay.
Top in AOI would be 1. Then we go into that traditional head-to-head format. Then the live comes into play. If day 1 we don't have live, you will have observers for that event, because that will be, we'll have 16 anglers on day 1. It's a 3-day event, so it's going to be compacted, high pressure, just like you've dealt with in the past.
Just the way I like it. It's,
Tie your hair back and go.
Yeah.
And last man standing at the end is going to be the winner of that championship. So
that's awesome, man.
And that's going to be in Sturgeon Bay.
Awesome.
The base will be out of Sturgeon Bay. So super excited about that as well. And talking to some people in Sturgeon Bay, they are too.
Sweet. You're right on, Ted. It is addicting.
Yep. Ted. Andy just put it up there. Gotta admit, anyone who fishes head-to-head bracket is instantly addicted. It's insane how addicting it is. Fishermen find out that Kyle is a great TD. Well, try to be. Honestly, rules by fishermen and for fishermen. It's cheesy, but it is. I mean, we kind of lost focus of that for the PWS, honestly. Worrying about things that we shouldn't have worried about. Customers are going to be our focus. Customers. If we don't build this to where anglers want to come and fish it, it's all for nothing. We want people to come and fish with us. I want people to, I appreciate that comment, Ted. I pride myself really hard on being the best I can and being black and white. You can't always be black and white, but 99.9% of the time you can, but that 0.01%, you got to make the right decision.
Right. And
it's got to be an educated decision. And, I think I've proven in the PWS that the tough decisions will be made when they need to be. And, nothing against any other tournament series, whatever, but it's tough to make the decisions at that moment. And you got to be able to have a crew around you to make that right decision. So,
tournament director position sucks from a lot of times.
Comes with the territory,
yes.
That's for sure.
You gotta.
It's one of the most rewarding things at times, and one of the most unwanted.
But you got thicker skin, don't you?
Oh yeah, you have to. And everybody that knows me knows that I like to have fun, but when it comes down to business, it's business. So,
yeah.
Thanks, Ted.
Yeah. Well, I hope you've answered some of my questions that I've had. I mean, I want to play in this format anyways, but it's cool to see what you got going on. I'm excited. Next time you bring me up, we should talk some fishing. A lot more let's get I'd like to hear more about your Alabama rig talk.
everybody
You
likes
really,
Alabama.
as soon as you mentioned that, hey, it just popped a 30 on an A rig. That's all I want to do is ask you questions now.
I'd be willing to bet I might have caught, well, it's either been a Alabama rig or, man, I don't think I've caught a walleye on anything but an Alabama rig this year now that I'm thinking about it. Maybe a couple just on a swim bait or something somewhere, but all the big ones, man, if you're not throwing an Alabama rig in Door County, I just don't get it. And me and all my buddies at Bass Fish, we've been saying it for years and years and years. Right now, I went fishing this last Tuesday, and I told my buddies that were with me, I'm like, we're going to stop on the walleye spot. And I drop my live scope, I'm scanning, I throw a rig up in there, and they just come off the bottom, and they're following. I'm like, oh, come on. Because I know if one eats it, it's going to be a 28 or bigger. You can tell by the size of them on scope. I never did get one to bite, but
You got this much line out of
they were just negative, and they would follow it right up to where that bait started to rise. It's like, you son of But
That's awesome.
I agree, we do need this, and that's what I want to do with this too. This doesn't, every one of these isn't going to be about, the PWC all year. It's going to be about anglers or fans getting to know some of the anglers, talking about just fishing.
Well, I've had a lot of people reaching out to me asking questions about how it's going to go next year, and I just tell them honestly, I don't even know, but I'm probably going to play, and I'll ask. I'm actually going to head up and see Kyle this week, so I'll ask him when I'm up there. But no, this makes sense. I mean, the locations we're going at the times of the year you're going there, I don't think you're going to miss at any spot. I mean, granted, Mississippi River could whatever, but
it could flood.
For the most part, everything is primed for the picking. It should be a lot of fun.
And that's where scheduling sucks, is because everybody wants to be everywhere at the best times. I think we did a good job getting close. The thing is, it's going to be the same for everybody. Everybody's on the same playing field.
That's right.
And we're going to go battle it out for 2 days.
Should be fun, dude.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I am super excited for head-to-head this year. I loved the leagues. I truly did. And I do think there's a place for them to come back at some point. But ever since the PWS went away, and anybody that's in this building will tell you that it's never left right here. Like, it's always on my shoulder yelling at me, when is this coming? You got to do it, you got to do it, you got to do it, got to do it. And it's time. It's time to bring it back. We're focused differently on it this time. I am for sure. Our whole crew's mindset has changed, and it's customers first, and live streams are going to be there if it's warranted. That's what it's going to be. Like I said, the podcast, H2H Podcast, we want to bring it back. I'm going to be hosting all of them. Maybe Brian will jump in for a couple of them. Twice a month. If we have more, we'll do more. Shooting for, this evening parts of Thursdays.
Nice.
The next one, guest, is going to be Nick Schertz. He's going to be in studio with me on December 4th. Nice. So we will... We'll get through Thanksgiving here, and then we'll have Nick in studio coming up next in December.
I watched a couple. I still haven't watched the entire season yet from here, but Nick did a great job of breaking things down, and he was picking out small. I could hear from his what he was commentating on, and then he knows what he's looking at.
He knew what he was looking at.
Yes, he did, and he described it well. The subtleties. He did a really good job. He's just so full of knowledge.
You would be the same way if you sat in that seat and commentated and got to watch. I don't know if you'd be able to see all the screens at once and not be able to be like, oh.
No, my leg would just be bouncing like this, wishing I was out there.
Yeah, definitely. It's a lot of fun. Commentating's a lot of fun. Yeah, and it takes a little while to be able to fill that time. You sit and you think 4 hours. It goes by really fast for the anglers. It goes by really fast for the commentators, but the downtime is really tough.
Right.
Andy Cleveland's another one that's just phenomenal.
Andy was awesome.
Andy and Nick together, I think that'd be the pair of the century. That'd be the Tommy and Zona of the bass world. That would be the pair for walleye fishing. But Andy's not a super big fan of sand carp, so I'm not.
Sand carp.
I had to get that in there. My computer's probably going to die before I get to these. Yeah, Radu asked when signups will be open. I'm shooting for the beginning of December here. Hopefully before our next live, it will be up and live on our website. You'll be able to sign up and register and pay and everything right on our website. So. Yeah, why not put championship on, lost it.
A more challenging,
on a more challenging small body of water where the field isn't so as many boats. I think there's a lot of people who will argue that the bay is not challenging. The bay is an awesome fishery, obviously. I see what you're saying there, though, Joshua, that having it on a smaller body of water that typically you don't have a tournament on, where you don't see any big tournaments. It's August in Door County, and I don't think there's anybody in the world that walleye fishes that doesn't want to be there in August. So
I won't say no, but I do know exactly what he's saying. And then that was one of my favorite parts in 21 is we went to places I've never put a boat in before. And then you get 3 days to go figure it out, and then you just go fish. Yep. And that was really cool. I mean, that's one of my favorite parts is looking at new stuff. But
yeah, it's a great question.
Yeah.
Yes, Alabama rig will be legal in all events.
You got them
according
thinking
to
now.
state law. According to state law. So Minnesota has some weird laws with it. I have to look into the rules from each state, so I understand them. But Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota's, you can only have one hook and so many attractors, and there's some rules to it. But yeah, definitely going to be allowed. Anybody that knows me knows I love that chandelier, and there's no bite like it whatsoever. No bite like it. It's so much fun. I caught some on it last week, 41 degrees. Wow. And they just rip the rod out of your hand. So I'm smallmouth, right? You know, majority of them smallmouth. We caught a couple walleyes, but nothing major.
I might go home and hook up the boat. Actually, I'll probably throw a
when I was your camera guy on the bay, I saw it sitting when you opened up your box. I'm like, why is he not throwing this?
Long story.
Yeah, I was actually surprised that nobody took it out last year. So funny story about the championship on Big Bay. So was it that week? That weekend prior to our championship, we had our bass club tournament up there, and I'm fishing areas that I catch bass on, and during our tournament, I pull up to this area and I'm just stroking walleyes on an A-rig, just smashing them. Day one of the tournament of head-to-head, one of the anglers is sitting on that spot, just sitting there. They found that same school. I mean, it was a pretty obvious thing. It was on a grass line on a shoal, and I mean, if you would have been in that area, you would have probably found them too, but it's typically full of bass. And I think I caught 27 in a row. And they pretty much did the same thing, but they weren't catching them on Alabama rig. And I didn't say anything to them until the tournament was over. I'm like, I really wish you would have picked up an A-rig. It's like, I don't understand why walleye guys won't do it, but it's fun.
Just give it time.
It's fun. Nick surprised. I remember I was with Nick on Lake Wisconsin. He was throwing a chatterbait. Oh, the championship, remember Jeremy and who else was fishing that? They were pitching jigs in the grass on Chautauqua. Marianne was.
Yep.
It was Jeremy and Marianne were pitching jigs on Chautauqua. That was fun to see bass jigs.
A fun little jig is that little Z-Man Willow vibe.
Sure.
And the walleyes like that signature of that blade on there. But even full-size chatterbaits, that's fun. I've got a river not too far from me, and you can just stroll that upstream, and with the right weight and the right speed, you can just hover it right up off bottom, and those fish will clobber. Skirt, plastic, It doesn't matter. They like that.
Have you gone down the minnow? For just like in the bass world, it's a 6-inch minnow.
Oh, putting my Sakamata shad on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think you were throwing at a championship, weren't you? Were you throwing a minnow?
Not at the championship, nope. I mean, I would give it a chance in practice, but it was hard to beat a worm.
Yeah.
It's hard to beat a worm most of the time.
It typically is, right?
Yeah.
Jordan Calvert's one of our camera guys. He said he caught his personal best walleye on an Alabama rig.
There you go.
Yep.
There you go. And Joe's asking, or Ted Miller, or no, Joe. Oh, sorry. Those are talking to another Joe on the chat.
Spinnerbaits on Big Mac. That was cool.
There you go.
Trolling the spinnerbaits. Yep. Brian was doing that. Brian Bell.
Yep.
He was trolling the spinnerbaits. He did well. He got into the bracket doing that.
I spent a quarter of my day each day pulling them through the trees up on the upper end there, but it didn't play out the same way during the tournament.
I'd love to go back there, Lake McConaughey. That's a cool place.
That was so cool getting dumped in by the what do you call the
big
beach
trucks?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're on a beach basically, and they're just backing you in on a beach.
A monster truck will back you in.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
What was the name of that resort?
Oh, now I feel bad.
There's a resort that the guys were awesome.
My coffee mug has their sticker on it, but I'm sorry that I don't know it off the top of my head. I'm blanking.
Starts with an M. I don't remember either, but yeah, that whole place was cool. Like everybody from the chamber, Tawny was her name. She was awesome. Everybody there was great.
Yeah.
Driftwood was the bar that we had all the interviews and stuff at. That was a ton of fun. We spent a lot of time. I drank way too much beer in there. I spent way too much time awake for that tournament because that is unfortunately the week I had to disqualify somebody, and so I did not sleep for like 50 hours. But that was a cool event.
Vans, thank you, Brett.
Vans.
Yes.
Yep.
God, I feel bad.
That was a fun place. It was cool. We went there a couple times just to watch the guys dump them in and pick you out of the water. It was a cool place.
Yeah. Good times. That was one of the funnest years I've ever had in 20-something years of tournament fishing, man. Or how many? Yeah, we're pushing 20 years, and that was one of the funnest years. So,
well, I'm hoping to hear at the end of 2026 that 2026 was the funnest year.
Too.
I'm looking forward to it, guys. If you guys have any ideas on who you want to have on this show, you want to see, any guests you would like us to sit and BS with, that's what this is going to be. We're going to bring in anglers and fans and you name it. We're about having it, and we want to just entertain and sit down and talk BS fishing.
Awesome.
For the winter. So thank you everybody for tuning in. We appreciate it, and we will see you on December 4th with Nick Shirts back here on H2H Fishing.
Thanks, guys. See ya.